Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will show you everything you need to know to build your first Shopify website, your Shopify store. So if you are selling a digital product or a physical product of your own, or a physical product that you're drop shipping, branded drop shipping, it doesn't matter. If you're selling something online, Shopify is a very, very popular and very successful website that many people have used and many people succeed with. So if you are looking to build a website and you are an absolute beginner, this is the video for you. I'll be showing you step by step everything you need to know along the way. So this is a full tutorial to show you what you need to know for Shopify. And to be clear, I've seen a lot of other videos out there. Some of them are great videos. Some of them they talk too fast. Some of them, they are too long. They're like 3.5 hour videos. Some of them, actually most of them, if you go down in the description, you'll notice that they are actually selling a course then. So one thing I want to say is this is entirely free information. This entire tutorial here at Santrel, we believe in giving free information out. So we currently do not and never will sell a course. If you are looking to build your Shopify website, I promise at no point in this video will I be plugging a course, and we never will have a course. So that's how you know this really is some true free information. It's totally honest, and it is everything that we think you need to know in this tutorial. So with that being said, let's jump into it. So typically the first thing I like to do is I open Google Chrome. It's my favorite browser for this because you can get a lot of extensions on here. Facebook advertising has some extensions for your Pixel, and there's just many other tools you can get on Chrome. Of course, any other browser works. So whichever browser you choose, the first thing we want to do is copy the link from the top of the description below over to a new tab in your browser, and it should look something like this. So once you get here, we are going to sign up, and it's going to ask for your email, set up a password, and your store name. And so let's just do that right now. So for the purposes of this video, let's say we're going to make just a store about selling desktop plants, maybe a cactus or a little succulent plants, maybe pots. I'm not really sure. Just an example just to show you what we're doing here. So we're going to call this cactus desktop plants. That's what our store is going to be. So then go down and click create your store. And it starts you off, you can get a 14-day free trial with Shopify, but ultimately you will have to upgrade it if you want to make any sales on there, or if you just want it to continue beyond 14 days, which if you're watching this video and investing, you pretty much want to do that. So we will talk about that in a minute, but it's going to ask you to choose an account so you can create a new Shopify ID, or just use the email that you already signed up with. That's what I'm going to do for now, because this is my only store on this new email account I'm using right now for this. And so then it's going to ask a few questions about yourself. So the first one, are you already selling something? So let's just say I'm not selling any products yet. So we're just getting started here. And then do you have something to sell? You could say either you're brainstorming. It's going to be, pretty simple here. I'm going to say I have an idea. I know what I'm going to sell. And what's your current revenue? And if you're starting off, most likely you're less than $5,000. So I'm just going to say 0 for now. And you can say, is this for you, or are you designing it for somebody else? Obviously, that would be if you are already, you're probably not doing that if you're watching this video, because that would be like a marketing agency. So let's go to next right now. And it's going to ask for your address so that you can have, your business, you can get paid properly. So I'm going to type in my name and address.
And what are you about to say?
And so once you have your address in there, we are going to enter the store. And so this is really where most of our work is going to happen right here. So what we see right here is at the top, we have our store name right there. We can search. I don't really do much searching on this. It says we can select a plan. And I think the first thing we definitely need to do is go in and select a plan, because like I said, if you're going to make any sales on this, you want to have a plan that actually makes sense. And of course, there's so many different plans you can choose from. These three, they're very different, and depending on what you're looking to do, they're going to serve better audiences. So you can look at, there's actually some calculators out there to estimate based on how many sales you have, which is the right plan for you. But assuming you're just starting off, most likely the basic Shopify is going to be your best plan. And so I'm going to choose this plan right here. And let's go through and purchase this. Now, you can do it in several different ways. You can purchase every year. You can buy 2 years at a time. You can buy 3 years at a time, depending on what you're looking to do. I usually recommend buying a year at a time so you don't have to worry about a monthly payment if you can afford that upfront. And for the purposes of this video, because it's not a real store, I'm just going to buy 1 month for now, and we're going to start this plan. So we have our plan, and to be clear, the different plans will cost different amounts per sale, so different percentages, different fees. So like I said, there are calculators out there. Check those out before you choose one if you already have revenue. If you're starting very low, it makes sense you're just going to start off with the cheapest one right there. Then that brings us to the homepage right here. And within our homepage, you see there's a lot going on, and it's definitely going to change over time. These are some tips for when you're starting. And obviously when you're starting off right now, I do recommend this is a great place. So let's go and add our first product. Just click on that. And if that doesn't show up for you for some reason, you can always find this later on by going on the left side down to products, go to all products or add products. And we end up with this one right here. So let's just say we want a small desktop cactus is our first, let's just say that's our first product. And we're going to say perfect for any desk. And then of course you might want to like change your description, make some things like bold. You can make things italic. You can add like little images in here. You can do a lot of stuff like that. I wouldn't really add images in there. I mean, some people maybe would, but I would go down and add your images here with media. So let's say for right now we have this picture right here. And of course, having more pictures may help your performance as people want to see some different angles of the product. You might want to have some professional photos. Just make sure they're not grainy photos taken with your phone. If you go on eBay and you see people that just set something on a table with some awful, like really yellow light and they just take a phone picture, generally it's going to be harder to make sales. I found that if you either have a friend with a professional camera or if you have one yourself, definitely find some good lighting and take a really nice photo of your product. If you are drop shipping, maybe get a sample of your product and take physical pictures, or somehow find some pictures of your product that you can use here. And it's just going to overall help your performance on your product right here. So then as we go down, the first thing is pricing. You're going to name whatever price you want. So let's just say these are $5.99. I don't know, arbitrary price here. You can say compare at, and it'll like cross that out and show the other number next to it. So this is what some people try to do. They try to say it's like, oh, $800 and we're selling it for $6. And it's just going to cross it out and show that it's like on a long-term sale. So people might be more enticed to buy it. Obviously 800 is an exaggeration. Most people might say it's like, you know, normally $8 or something. And then down here, you can say the cost per item. This is for your own profit tracking and inventory tracking type stuff to look at your overall business success. So if this costs you, if you buy it and it costs like $1.24 or something, then they show you what your profit margin is, and you can see how much profit you're actually making per item. So you can charge tax. Of course, depending on where you are, you probably need to do that. Otherwise, maybe you can just absorb the tax in the cost and you just already cover the tax. Most people don't do that. So I just usually charge tax on things. You can go down here and have your stock keeping unit, your SKU. If you want to keep a number for that, you can have a barcode for that. So for this one, let's just say it's like 1,001 or 10,001. It's a 10,000, that's 100,001, sorry, 100,001. And then the quantity, we can say that we have, I don't know, if you want to track your inventory, this is another great way to do things. If you're drop shipping, this really doesn't matter quite as much. So let's just say we have 250 of these because let's say we're not drop shipping. And then you can also say this is a physical product, or you can have, you know, digital product, of course, and then it won't have a shipping address. But assuming it is a physical product, then we're going to go down, and this is for shipping purposes, estimate the weight. So say like 1.1 pounds. You can change the units if you need to there. And then going down here, you have some customs information. So your country of origin. So let's go find the United States. I'm from the United States. And then down here, you have multiple options. So if your product has different sizes, or if it has different colors, if it has any kind of different variation, you can go down here and just name it whatever you want. You can say, let's say we have different colors, and then you're going to type in the colors and add a comma between them. So let's say white, let's say we have a black one. And let's just say these are talking about like the cactus pots, of course. We can have a mint green one, and maybe we have a cool gray one. So that way we have 4 different colors here. And then down here, you can see what the price is of each. So you can change the price. So let's just say that one's like a little bit cheaper. Maybe that one is also a little cheaper. And then we can go down, and they automatically filled in the SKUs. So we have different stock keeping units for these. And then of course we can change the stock for each one. So let's just say we have 150 of these, and then we have 150 of these, and 150 of the cool gray ones as well. So this is a really cool tool here that you can actually utilize if you have inventory to keep track of what sales happen, so you don't have to have separate software to do this. Of course, depending on your business, some people may want separate software, but for a small store like this, when you're selling just a few products, it definitely could be a very nice, useful tool to have. Then on the bottom, edit website SEO. This is the classic thing that a lot of people miss out on, and it's something that can hurt your ranking really a lot. So when people search small desktop cactus, they want to see small desktop cactus, and they're going to click on that. They're more likely to transfer from Google to your store. And of course, you really want to think about the search intent here. Who is going to be looking this up and what are they going to be looking for? And the better you can target your search intent. So if somebody's looking for like how to take care of a cactus, that would maybe be a blog post for you. I wouldn't put that here. And you want to make sure you're ranking for the proper keywords and the proper search intent. So small desktop cactus may be good for this one, but let's just beef it up a little bit and say the perfect companion. The perfect companion for your desk or something. And then down here, we have a small description, and this is going to be below it. Obviously, you don't want it to be such a small, what is that, 4 words right there. You want to fill this out a little bit with something that people are going to be actually looking for. Don't really worry about flooding it with keywords that much, but don't add like a bunch of fluff in there. So definitely have some keywords, have things that make sense, but you want it to be a nice descriptive sentence there. So when people look at this, they say, oh, that looks like a reliable source. That's a great place to buy my cactus. So let's just say we have a description like that. Of course, this is not necessarily perfect here. And admittedly, I've never sold cacti online, so I haven't done enough research on what the right keywords would be for this. But then down here, we have our URL, our handle. So basically our slug right there is what you would call it. And let's just say small desktop cactus. You want this to make sense. You want it to, it's going to be better for Google ranking, but also so when people go to your website, it's easier to navigate and understand that they're on like the right website and they're not on a bunch of random characters that may be a little bit more shady. They don't want to feel like they're on some website that's going to scam them out of their money. And so right there, small desktop cactus is just a nice URL. So we're going to click save. And now we have our first product. Of course, on the right side, I forgot to mention on the top there, if it's like a pair of Nike shoes or some kind of brand or other way you can sort it. So you see right here, product type, vendor, collections. You can do a lot of stuff like this if you want to add this to different collections. And we don't have collections yet, but we may want to add some other tags here just in case people are searching through our website. So we can say cactus, desktop, cactus, and you'll see they pop up down there. So let's just say those are the ones we have for now. So let's go and save this. And then as we go over to transfers, we can go down to, actually, let's just go down the whole left side, starting at home. So going back to home, we added a product. We can customize our theme next. I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Instead, I want to jump down to add a domain. So let's add a domain here because honestly, if you are running a store from cactus-desktop-plants.myshopify.com, odds are people are going to know that you're an amateur. They can clearly tell by the lack of a professional domain. And so really what you should be doing here is buy a domain. Make a domain that is relevant to your store and is just a nice clean one. So I think cactus.com with the Q is almost definitely taken. It's 2020. But if you find like cactus-desktop-plants.com or something kind of more creative and as short and convenient and easy to say as possible, your store will probably perform better like that. And on top of that, I'll show you later on where you can get an email for this because you probably don't want to be like Mike Ricky Bobby 5769 at gmail.com. Like that's again not a very professional way to host your business if people are going to contact you for customer service. And for that reason, I recommend getting, with your domain, you should have an email. So it should be like mike@cactus.com or support@cactus.com. If that was your domain, was cactus.com. So of course your domain would be replaced there. So you can buy a domain right up here if you want. You can buy it through right here on Shopify. But typically what I would recommend, you can find cheaper locations out there. So namecheap.com is usually a pretty cheap one. Sometimes I go to you can really buy it from anywhere. You can buy it from GoDaddy has a bunch. You can go from Google Domains, you can find them. And there's just lots of different places you can find domains, and then you can buy your domain and you can connect it right here. So you can either connect an existing domain if you already bought it, you can transfer from a different website, or you can go right up there and buy one through Shopify. So once you have a domain, you'll see that what you can actually do is you can go to your domain/admin. It'll take you to this right here and you'll be signing in, or you can just go to shopify.com and navigate to this. But you have a domain, so now you're ready to go. Now, as we go down here in home, you'll see there's a lot of other stuff that I recommend checking out in the future. So you can go down here, right here. So your store, you can bookmark. This is where you sign in, like I said. You can also disable the password. So right now your store is not actually live, meaning your website's live, but nobody can actually make a purchase without the password. You can disable the password. Of course, you cannot disable this password if you don't have if you don't have an upgraded plan. So that's how they prevent you from buying things. But this brings you over to preferences, and we can disable the password right here. So our store is now live. People can go and buy that cactus. Now going back to home, so going down, like I said, you have a lot of stuff here. Read through this, guys. I recommend some of them are some, blog posts that can help you learn some things. But let's go down the left side and start learning some more stuff with this website. So when we go to orders, obviously we have no orders right now, but you will see that you can track your orders, you can mark them as shipped, you can track where they're going, and just overall manage a lot of your orders here. You can have drafts right there. You can have abandoned checkouts. And obviously, since we don't have anything really going on the store yet, none of this is populated just yet. But this will eventually be a very powerful tool that I recommend you use. And to be clear, guys, I will show you how to optimize the site in a minute, but let's keep going down the side here. So when we go to products, you'll see all products. And like we just added here, we have 704 different variants. And this is our small desktop cactus. So we can filter through these, we can sort them, we can add more products. So up there, add product, a little purple button is going to be obviously how you're adding more. Then you can go down and transfer to some different things. So if you have, this is something that I admittedly don't really use much, but you could transfer if you're placing like orders and moving things around. You could do that right there. Inventory management is really nice. You can see right here what inventory you have, if it's sold, when it's going to stop selling, if you have any incoming ones. So that would be back with transfers there, of course. And you can, edit the quantities right there. So it's pretty cool that you're able to do all of this right here. And of course, you can export that or import other files into this. Then we go down to collections. This is pretty cool because we can create different collections and show different collections on our website. And like I said, I'll show you that in just a minute. But let's go and create our first collection right here. So let's say this collection is going to be plants with spikes. I don't know, let's just say it's mostly cacti. And then we want to add whatever our description is right here, a longer description than that, hopefully. We can add our collection image. And for the purposes of this, let's add that as our image right there. And then you can go down, you can have an automated collection, or you can manually add different things to the collection. And then of course your website SEO again. So making a collection is very easy, and it's going to be, I'll show you how to add different products into that in a minute. But overall, that is going to be what you're doing with collections. And when you have more products, collections make sense, especially with clothing. You could have like a fall collection of your clothing that kind of goes together. You can have, it's pretty common as brands get bigger to have different collections. Then we go down, we have gift cards. You can have some e-gift cards right here. Because we have the lowest plan, we cannot get gift cards. But essentially, it'll give the user a code that they can use at checkout that is the gift card. It's not going to be sending plastic physical gift cards. Maybe you could do that if you really wanted, but through Shopify, it's going to be a code, of course. After products, as you're going down, customers is the next thing right there. And because we haven't made any sales, we have no customers, but you can add customers if you already have some from the past. You can import customers if you had a store elsewhere. And overall, this is going to be a great place to, if you have customer service, for example, if somebody calls, they say they made an order, you can go in here, learn about their order, track it, stuff like that. You can also use this to learn a little bit more about who's buying your product and stuff like that. Really, you can be creative with this, but this is where you're finding information about your customers. Not the most extensive information, but you're going to find a little bit more about purchase history. Where you're going to learn actually more is through analytics right here. And so from your overall, your dashboard right here, this is where you get the big picture of your sales, how many online store sessions, how successful different things are, you can test out different products, A/B testing, and see, which ones sell better, the online store conversion rates. So when people are adding to their cart, when they're actually getting to checkout, how many times they actually check out then. So you can really start to look at this and see where your inefficiencies are in your website. And you can really use this to optimize your site and have as many sales as possible. Now, this could also be related to your keyword targeting. So if for some reason your search intent is incorrect and you're just getting a lot of people going to your website and then they realize it's not what they were looking for and they click off, you may want to go back and redesign your website. Just do some iterations of this until your website actually works and your sales actually are significantly better. And of course, depending on what product you're selling, organic traffic is great, but a lot of times people, will be running ads on things. So this won't really tell you as much about your ad effectiveness. You can learn some stuff here, but most of that is going to be elsewhere. Going down, we have our reports right here. This is the really big picture, the absolute macro here, where you have like your overall macro finances, your marketing spending. You can see your inventory, just really big picture stuff here. And then we have live view, which is going to show how many people are on your website right now, how much you made today, and stuff like that. So I don't typically look at this one as much, but I could see why this one definitely could be fun to look at to see how you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Just go in here, check out what everything's looking like right now. Going down to marketing then, we have our marketing overview, and this is where we can integrate some apps with our website. And so going down here, you'll see that there's some other different options here. So they're going to show you a little bit more about the marketing campaign you have, but there are some marketing apps, like I said, and I'll touch on that in a minute. And then you can go down, they have some blog posts about marketing. But at the top, they say they do have some marketing automations. So let's just see what they're talking about here. So when you do that, marketing automations drops you down to the bottom one right there out of our overview, campaigns and automations. So really briefly, jumping back, you'll see campaigns right there. It's not that exciting right now. We don't have any campaigns, but it can show you how much you're spending on ads and how much revenue you're actually generating from that. So then when we go down to the automations, you'll see they have some really cool apps that you can add onto your site. So something really cool about Shopify is you are able to get some of these Shopify apps, add them to your website, and you can do a lot more. So rather than just having a website, what if you had a website that could, right here, like SMS bump, for example, that's a great one. What if you could send text messages to people that abandoned their cart, or otherwise, maybe if they made a purchase and you want to say, hey, thanks for your purchase. Here is, I know Best Buy does that. They'll send you a text when you order something, and they'll send you text updates as it delivers. So there are quite a few apps. You can go and learn more about different automations. You can create an automation right there. And so, Google Smart Shopping is another one. That one's not free. That's going to be a paid one through Google, of course, but some of them are free. So like SMS Bump is a free one. And if we want to add that, we can definitely go and set up SMS Bump right there. It's very easy to do. And I'll talk about apps in actually just 1 minute. So then we can go down to discounts on the left side. And again, guys, I know I'm showing you all of this stuff first, but I promise we'll get into showing what the website actually looks like and making that look beautiful in just a minute. These are things you need to know and you want to set up so you have the infrastructure for your store. So when you build the website, it looks good and actually works on the back end with this stuff right here. So you can have some discount codes. You can have some automatic discounts right here. And let's just say our discount codes are going to be, you could just create a code right here. You can make it do whatever you want. So you can have a percentage, you can have a fixed amount, you can have free shipping, you can buy one, get something else. Stuff like that works very well. And it's nice that they integrate this with Shopify. So you can go down and have like a discount. Let's just say you get 90%, 98% off of your entire order. And it applies to, your whole order right there. No minimum requirements. Anybody's eligible. So you can set the limit right here. So you can have limit 1 per customer or limit total. Let's say it works 50 times ever. And it starts right here and you can set an end date. Maybe it ends like, in 2 weeks or next month or something. And we can make our discount code, let's just say, Mike is cool. So anybody that says Mike is cool gets 98% off. Just a little ego boost right there. So let's go and save that discount code. And just like that, we have a discount code. We can share it on maybe our Facebook group or in other places just to get things going. 98% off is probably not realistically what you're going to be doing, but you get the idea of how to apply these. So then if we go back to discount codes, you can see this one's listed right there. And if we decide, this one is really, we're giving way too much of a discount, you can go into it and you can see disable right at the top. You can also promote it if you wanted. So Instagram promotions might be a good way to do this. That's also a great way to track, how many people are coming from the ads, just another way to see that information. But you can disable it if you realize it's too much, or if for some reason you want to stop that promotion. Then, like I said, getting back to apps here, there are so many great apps out there. I can't list all of them. I'll put some in the description below, but some of them are actually really powerful. So SMS Bump is a great one, of course, that you can use. Some other apps you may want to consider getting would be one for maybe reviews on there if you want people to be able to go. So like product reviews right there. You can go and add a reviews page to your website. So people, a lot of times they want to see some social proof that what they're buying, other people buy, they know the pros and cons about it. It's not just what you want them to see. So having reviews will actually help your product a lot. Of course, you can post it on other platforms and they would get reviews there, but having it on your website is definitely beneficial. Also, you can have some email marketing set up. You can have a help center set up. You can have order tracking. Just a couple ideas here when you're starting your store of the other apps you may want to consider getting. So definitely go, like right now, let's check out the App Store right now. I hit Control click, it opens in a new tab, and then we can go down and you'll see that there are so many different ones. So there's staff picks right there. There's trending ones. So maybe like Talk Shop, maybe having something optimized for TikTok, being that it's just a viral new app out there. Maybe, well, actually, depending on when you're watching this, currently, right now, TikTok is blowing up. It's really, really big. But maybe in the future, this is going to make this video seem really outdated. But TikTok is really big right now. So maybe that would be something you should consider getting on your online store here. Then we go down, there's some trending ones. So again, there's just so many options. I can't tell you everything you need to get. Of course, depending on what your store is, there's different ones that are going to be better. But of course, I would say reviews are pretty often a very popular one. Email marketing is a popular one. And of course, you can also get some for like Facebook and stuff like that. Oberlo is one that a lot of people use when they're drop shipping. I don't know. I mean, some people make a lot of money with that. Some people really don't. So it depends on when you're watching this video and what you're trying to get into. That may or may not be a great option there. But as we go down, you have just lots and lots of different apps here, and you can have, so like places to sell, you can have Facebook ones, you can have a Google Shopping one. And like I said, I'm not going to get into this too much in this video, but there are quite a few apps. So now the next thing we're getting into is the exciting part of this video. This is what you really probably have been waiting for, and this is our online store. So if you go to online store, I mean, first of all, you can add other sales channels if you have other sales channels through Facebook Shop or Instagram or Amazon, if you're selling things on eBay, Messenger, lots of different ways to sell things. But for the purposes of this video, we are making our store strictly on our website right here, not selling on other things. And so the first thing we have is actually a theme. And so let's check out our theme right here. So the first one is called Debut. That's just the one they give us, and we can go down and actually view it. So let's check out what this looks like. It opens a new tab, and obviously we're going to change the pictures and everything like that, but you'll see that, you know, it's pretty simple. They show you basically what it's going to look like. If this is not your style though, there are many other themes. And for the most part, I really recommend finding a different theme. You don't want to be using the default one that everyone else is using. It's just going to be way too obvious that you're like, anybody who has a store is going to recognize your default. So let's go down and check out the free themes right here. You can also buy some themes from the Shopify store, and there are some really nice ones out there. Some of them are not too expensive. Some of them are a little pricier. And so when we go in, we can check out the free themes, and each one should be a little bit different. So they have some different variations. So if we say like this one right here, let's say we really like this one, we can add it to our library, and there are 3 different styles. This is what I meant by having a different variation. So there's like a snowboarding one, outdoors one, and then boxing one. Of course, it doesn't actually matter if you are actually selling an outdoors product. This is just a recommendation. You could apply this to literally anything. So don't feel confined to what they say right there. So let's add this theme to our library. We're going to sell cacti using the outdoor theme here. It doesn't actually matter. Now that Venture has been added right there, you'll see that it still says Debut is our live theme up here. And if that confuses you, it's really just because you didn't publish with a new theme yet. So you can easily get a new theme, customize the entire theme, and then publish. So that way, if you're ever deciding to change a theme further on down the road, nobody ever encounters a broken store that's half-baked, that's only halfway made. So this is great, like really to reiterate here, if you have a store that's live, you can kind of build a new one if you want to redesign it, make it look different, and make it look perfect, and then publish it and make it look live. So it's just a cool thing you can do there, so you don't have to edit things while they're live and make your website very confusing for any potential visitors. You don't want to be losing sales. So because this is new, let's just say if we want to make this one our live one, all you have to do is go up and publish, and then you'll see what I mean. So we can publish right now, and it will become our live theme then. And again, you can customize from down there, or now that it's live, let's click on the purple customize button, and it will bring us into our website builder. And so here, the website builder, we can see the different pages we have on the top left. So we can select a different page. And there really are only a couple pages right now. So we have our collection page, we've got different collections list, we've got blogs, we've got a cart page, we have our checkout page, and our 404 page. So definitely it is important that you guys go through and check these out. Hopefully nobody's ever seeing a 404 page not found. But if they are, you definitely want to make this look nice at least so that people can be easily redirected to your homepage and they never get confused. So if for some reason you accidentally typed in a link incorrectly and you have the URL slug on the end, that's just not quite right. Maybe you have an extra letter in there. It'll come to this and it'll easily redirect them back to your homepage. Now, with that being said, let's go back to homepage right here and start editing around. So you'll see that the layout of a Shopify store, at least with this theme in particular, is really a block layout. So they have these different sections, and each section, it's not necessarily drag and drop as we see with Wix or with a lot of other website builders out there. This one is definitely a little bit more structured where you can say, I want a slideshow, and then I want a collection list, and then I want a whatever else, image with text. You have like different options right there. And you really are not going to be tailoring this too much, but you can definitely make some changes. So if we say right here that we want, maybe our slideshow is a good first one, and then maybe our collection is not what we want next. Maybe instead we want some kind of image right there. So you can go to the left, click on that little 6-dot array, and then drag it up to wherever you want, and you can rearrange the sections right here. So let's add this one next. And then you'll easily see that editing this should be no problem. So you can just go into, click on image with text right there. And first we have image, which you can select the image that you want. So let's go and select our image. There's some free images you can get, or you can upload an image to your library for your store right here. Let's go and upload an image. Let's just say this one right here. And then the text we want. So let's choose the image first, sorry. So let's go and choose our image right there. And then on the bottom, say select. I forgot to click that a second ago. And then we can actually go and edit that. We can remove it. We can change it pretty easily. But let's go down and change the text. So if we want to go, that's our image with text. So our text is going to be choose your favorite desktop collection. And then you want to add some text right there. And of course, if you want some text to be linking somewhere, you can highlight that text, click on the little chain icon right there, makes sense as a link, and then you'll be able to link to another page. You can paste a link right here, or you can find another page within your website. So we can go into products right there, and then we can link out to maybe this product, for example. And that way we suddenly have a link there so that somebody can go and click on availability right there, and it'll link out to the product and they can see if it's actually available. So of course, depending on what you're writing here, you may want to be linking to blog posts, or maybe within a blog post, you can link back to different products, just some different ways to do things. Of course, you can change your alignment, left-right alignment, and you can add some different content. So if we want to add another, maybe some more text or another image, let's just say we want to add more text. And then you'll see the way they do that is they put it like horizontally, they stack different things. And if you want to rearrange them, again, the 3 dots there, you can click and drag that up like that. And so it's not always like the most intuitive way of editing things. It is definitely very easy to move things around, but it's a little bit less customizable than we saw with something like Wix, for example. So if we don't want it, we can go down and remove this content. And now we just have essentially that right there. So now let's go back. We have our first section. We have our first 2 sections. Actually, we didn't add anything to slideshow yet, but you can adjust, if you want to auto rotate the slides to make them fit, if you want the slide height to be small, large, or we can just make it whatever, adapt to the first image. And then you can change how fast it's switching through. And then down here, you can go and add different slides. So just select the images you want. You can change headings for them. You can just do some basic stuff like that if you have a button to view all products or to view that product in particular. And this is very common with a lot of websites that you check out, that they have a slideshow at the top of maybe different products or different collections and links that lead over to those products. So now we have our slideshow, we have our text with an image right there, and then we go down to collection list. And of course, there's many other things I'll show you in a second, but collection list, you can easily have multiple collections right there that people can go and view all right there. So if we go to the first one, we can select a collection. I showed you before, guys, remember where we made that collection? This is where things are tying in. So we can say plants with spikes is our first collection. because I didn't beef it out and I don't have the second two collections, that's the only one I'll be showing you right now. But go down here and click select, and suddenly you'll see that one is in right there. And you have that little view all link right there. So it is really nice that if people are interested in this collection, as they hover over it, it highlights it. You can click on view all and it'll bring them over to that collection page. So then we can go down, actually, let's go back right now. And the next thing is you'll see that we have the home page next below that. So homepage, that one's not that exciting. You can either view all or you can go to individual products right there, change different rows. And then lastly, if we want to add another section, we can go and you'll see there's lots of different sections you can add here. So if we want to have a slideshow, we want a featured product, we want a newsletter, maybe we want a map. So let's just click on whatever you want. You'll see it pops up right there and you can then go and click and drag that. So let's add it. So it's going to verify that you actually want it. You can have your address there. It'll have you can get directions to it, stuff like that. You can optimize pretty much anything you want to add, but you'll see going back here, it pops up as another section that we're adding, another banner right there, because that's the style of website we're building. Then if we go down, footer is the last thing that we do want to edit here. So your footer menu, you can go and change, I don't know, like if you want to have a different menu there, and I'll show you in navigation, you can adjust what the menu is going to show. So you can have, like if you go footer menu right now, it doesn't actually do anything. And then follow us, again, doesn't do anything with this theme just yet. So now that we have our sections laid out on this page, what you can also do is you can use the entire right side of the screen here to navigate your website. So if we go to catalog, that is our next page. And similarly, you can edit this in essentially the same fashion. So you can add, you can adjust your header right there, you can adjust your footer, and you can adjust what is in here. So you can add some different things. And so being this is our collections page, we're only going to have our collection right there. But you can add different pages, and again, I'll show you that in a minute, guys. But lastly, before we get out of this customization thing, there's two last things I want to show you. One of them is the theme settings. So you can go in here and change the colors if you want. So if you really like this theme, but you just wish it was more of your business's colors, you can change that right there. Typography, if you want a different font, make sure it's easy to read and has a relatively fast load speed. And then we can go down to your collection page, social media. So adding social media, definitely do that right here. And that'll pop up down here with follow us. Remember how I said it didn't do anything yet? That's because we didn't add social media yet. So you can add your different links. We can add, so like Instagram, let's just add that right now. So you see that as soon as you type that in, it pops up down there with an Instagram icon so people can go and find you on Instagram. Likewise, you can have, Tumblr, Snapchat, YouTube, Venmo, or sorry, not Venmo. That's not Venmo. I read that wrong. Then you have Twitter, you have Facebook. You've got lots of different things right there. I guess people wouldn't follow you on Venmo. That wouldn't really make sense. But then we can also go up there and select an image if you want that down in your social sharing. And so that's definitely very important. Then if we go down to the favicon right here, this is going to be the little icon on the top of your browser. So if we look up on the very top next to where it says what our website name is, you'll see that right there. It's going to say, it's going to have a small image right there. Right now it's a Shopify logo. So let's go and upload our logo. And of course, there's so many different ways you can make a logo. I typically recommend using something like canva.com, but Shopify also recommends, they have their own thing that you can use to make a logo, a partner of theirs. So if you first sign in on the homepage, one of the things as you scroll down is, hey, do you want to make a logo? And they'll bring you over and they'll make a logo that might look something a little bit like this one. So if we want this to be our favicon, you'll see that if we do that, we'll select it, and then our website will be using it right up on the top. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. So let's save this. It saves it. And let's just say we want to go and check out our website now. So if we refresh it, so I apologize. Before it didn't show the Shopify logo. It showed like a little Earth logo. That's just because we're using Chrome right here. But now it shows our logo for our website. And of course, you can always go down and check this out. I recommend, guys, check out your website on as many different monitors as possible. Check it out on a big monitor, an old monitor, on a TV, on a projector, whatever you can get your hands on. You want to see what it looks like on as many different spaces as possible, because inevitably somebody will end up on your website on some really weird projector somewhere and your website's not going to look great. So you want to just make sure that it's optimized for any user no matter what they're doing. And speaking of that, you can also go up here to the top and look at what it looks like in a mobile view. So right here, you can go around and click on your website in a mobile view, or you can go to the desktop view And it's really good to switch between that, because especially if you're on social media, if you're advertising on social media, a really, really large portion of your traffic will be on mobile, on phones, for example. And so you want to make sure you're optimized for that. But then lastly, like I said, you can go down here and go to checkout, and you want to make sure that you have a good banner, you have a good logo, and your checkout just looks good overall. And of course, you can see that. Go up to our checkout page, and this is what it's going to look like. So if we check out if we look at the checkout page, then you'll see that you can do some different things here. So you can change like a banner, you can add your logo right there. Of course, I'll be talking about the logo on your header in a minute. But a lot of the stuff like your legal things, if you want them to show up on your checkout page, you can actually do that. So let's head out of the editor right here. I think we went through pretty much everything here other than changing the theme style, which we can also do back where I showed you before. And the next thing, actually, if we go down to settings, I want to show you how to get the legal things right there. This will be like your return policy. If you want to have things like that, you can go over to settings on the bottom, go down to the bottom right to legal. And this is where, like I said, you can add your refund policy, you can add your privacy policy, things like that. And the nice thing about Shopify here, of course, just a template, not necessarily what you want to do, but realistically, if I was going to make a store, I would just Google a template anyway. So it's nice that they have this. Click on create from template, and they give you a suggested refund policy. It's usually pretty robust, but you can go through and figure out what's right and what's not right. If you don't have gift cards, things like that, things might change. You can create a privacy policy from a template. Definitely make sure you adjust that on your own and you actually read that. If it's your privacy policy, you could get into some serious legal trouble if you are not doing what you say you're going to be doing. And of course, you want to make sure that everything is true and correct in there. So going down terms of service, you can do like all this stuff and it will show up on your checkout page then. So it's just nice to have that there. Now, not to jump around too much, but something else I want to talk about is if we go back to online store, I didn't go through all of these yet, but we can go down to blog posts, and not every store will have a blog, but it's something that I recommend if you have time and you want to gain some organic traffic. Maybe if you can make a blog post about like how to decorate your desk or how to improve workplace morale, or maybe an article about workplace depression. And you could talk about how people are, not happy because they don't have plants at their desk, or because they don't have the right lighting, or because they drink too much caffeine. Like, you can provide actual value in these articles. And at the end, people might be like, hey, who's actually writing this? Realize that you're a store and they might buy your product from you. So a good way to organically plug your stuff is with blog posts. Again, not for everybody. Some businesses are definitely much better off by running paid advertisements. It really depends on a case-by-case situation, who you are and what you're selling. So going down, we have pages. This is what I mentioned before about how you can have more than just 2 pages on your site. So if we go over to our website right here, we see we have home and we have catalog. Of course, we have the other pages that you can get to through like the 404 error page, if we have the cart page, the checkout page. But as far as what's listed on your navigation on the top, it's really just these 2. So if we want to add a page, we can go to add page right there. Let's say it's an About Us page. And so we want to call it About Us. And I do recommend having a little bit like not just about us, have something else there. So the story behind our company or something like that. And again, I said this before, but just to be very clear here, Cactus with a Q is not a real brand. If there is any business similar to this, like this is totally unaffiliated with them. This is really just a hypothetical brand right here. So we want to make sure we have a good description down here, and you can make it, whatever you want so it shows up in Google like that. I recommend all of your listings or all of your pages should have a consistent theme right here. So if you say like a page and then 2 lines and then a little description of it right there, then try to keep that consistent across your pages. You can also make you can make it a hidden page if you want. We're going to save this, and then you'll notice that the About Us page right here, so once it saves, the page was created. Go back to pages. But you'll notice that if we go over to our website, we click refresh, and like, oh crap, it's not there. And don't worry, guys, the reason it's not there, it's still working, but the reason it didn't show up is because we didn't actually publish that yet. So we can go in and edit that. We can actually make, beef out the page, fill it out with all the information we want in the editor I showed you before. So if we go back, again, just to reiterate here, if we go back to home, or if we go to online store, and we go to themes and we go to customize, you'll see that our page will be there. up in the selected pages area. So if we go up, we can go down to the page, which is about us, and then we can edit this page and we can fill it out with whatever we want. And then, so once that's all ready, let's go back to Shopify again. We go down to pages and we can actually publish this page. So if we go and we select that, then we go up to the top and we go to more actions, publish selected pages, it'll publish it. So now it will be visible to people going to the website. And again, the reason that they won't actually see it on the menu bar on the top is because we didn't add it to navigation yet. So the next step is to kind of optimize the navigation right here. So you have two menus on this one right here. You can add another menu if you want to add it somewhere else on your website. So kind of a weird way to add a menu here. I don't know why they don't just let you add some text with links, but it does make things a little bit more modular, so you can edit things and it kind of updates live like that. So the footer menu, if we go over to our website, is going to be on the bottom right here. Footer menu, we don't actually have anything in that right now. And then the header menu is up in the header. So we have home and we have catalog. And the reason we don't see the other one is because we didn't update that and add that page in there yet. So let's add a new item and we'll say about us. And then we can go here and we can add a page. And the page that we want is actually the only other page we made so far. So let's add that. And then let's keep adding a couple more items. So you can say policy. And then we can actually go down and just see some of the other things you can add on the top. So you can add the home page, a search bar, you can have your collections, your products, different pages like we just showed you. You can go to blogs, or we can go to policies, and there are some different policies here. And so we can just say, how about our refund policy? And we'll add that one, and that will be up on the top. And then one last thing to check out would be blogs. And whatever your blog, you want to talk about like a specific thing, we can go to blogs, and that will, bring it right there, and we'll have our blog post there. So we'll add that. And then lastly, we will go down and save the menu right there. And then it should be ready. When we go over and update that, we'll be able to see everything across the top. And so right there, you'll see we have catalog, we've got about us, we've got, so our policy page, it is already populated with what we showed you before. If you went into the settings, again, that's where we got that. And then blog, we don't have any blog posts right now, but again, this is where I showed you guys blog posts right there. You can make your own blog posts, you can create them. They're pretty easy to do, very self-explanatory, and you're building them in a pretty similar way with the same text editor. Then domains down here is something that we already have a domain. I talked about connecting that before. I admittedly for this video, guys, I didn't actually pay for a new domain because this really is just a video. I didn't want to spend extra money to show you guys something that you pretty much could already walk yourself through. Then we go down to preferences, and this is really the last thing on the left there. And this is going to be a little bit more about if you're doing some more advanced things. So if you want to have a title and meta description, this is good for search engine optimization, of course, or SEO. If we go down Google Analytics or Facebook Pixel, if you go into Facebook and you have a pixel that you want to connect, or if you go into Google Analytics, I actually have videos on those. I'll link them right up there, but I'll show you where within Facebook Business Manager you can go and you'll find a piece of pixel code. You'll just copy that, you'll paste it in here, and that way you can track different actions through your website, and you can really set this up and make sure that when you're running ads, you can track how well the ad works. So when people click on your ad, they go to your website, and then they click on this, they put it in your cart, and then they don't buy it. And then you can go back and retarget them, and you can say that, hey, this person it's in their cart, just send ads to them on their on that Facebook network, and that way you'll get ads out to them, and you have a better plan for people buying your products. Lastly, password protection. We disabled that right there because we want this store to be live, and that's pretty much it for those. Now let's go down to settings. We talked about legal, but there is actually a lot of other stuff you can do within settings here. So in general, you'll see that you do have some basic stuff here. Your store name, which will show up on the top right there. So you see Cactus Desktop Plants, that's our store name. You can have your store contact email, your customer email. Could be two different things right there if you want. You have your store address, your legal name of your store, so people can learn more about you if they need to. Standards and formats, so what time zone you're in. This is all pretty self-explanatory. And actually currency down there, you select your currency, but you can actually get apps that convert currency for different countries if you're selling internationally, so that people aren't buying in dollars if they are in England or if they're in India. It doesn't really matter. If somebody's somewhere else and they don't use the US dollar, maybe they want to buy it using their credit card, paying a currency that they're familiar with. Then we have payment providers. That's not that exciting. Checkout, you can go down and customize your checkout experience. So I showed you how to change the checkout page, but here you can actually do a little bit more. You can have people setting up accounts so they can come back and check out their orders later. You can go down and have customer contact, form options. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I recommend going through and making sure this looks as good as you want it to, depending on what you're interested in with your store. We have shipping right there. We have taxes. Those are pretty boring, actually. Locations, gift cards. So gift cards, you can really set these up, enable for, like right here, it says Apple Wallet passes and stuff like that. Notifications, so you can manage notifications that are sent to you and to your customers. Files, which could be, obviously important if you're trying to upload different files. Sales channels, plan and permission. So if you're going to change the plan that you have, if you're like, oh man, I need to upgrade my site here, you can upgrade your plan very easily right there. And then lastly, we go down to billing and, of course, or store languages and legal. Now, there's also some other apps that can easily change your store languages for different areas. If they know where the region is, you can just translate your whole store for them. So overall, guys, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you in this video. A full tutorial. Now you pretty much know everything you need to about the tools and resources available on Shopify to build your store, to choose the right theme, and to start your own successful business on the internet. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions or comments about the video. Let me know what you guys thought of this. As always, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.